All right, so let's start. Yeah, I said any emoji there. I don't mean you should cry now. Is crying your favorite emoji? Man picking. Please, so we don't want you to cry. We rather want you to smile, be happy. We want you to smile, want you to be happy because crying connotes something negative. You understand? It connotes something negative. All right, so that's by the way. So let's like I informed us yesterday, this is my own way of doing my personal evaluation. What I mean by that is for what I've been teaching so far, I need to evaluate it, I need to assess it, I need to be sure. Okay, I need to be sure that we are on the right track, we're doing the right thing. So basically, what we have to do today, number one is I want to know how far you've been practicing. Okay, because remember that um I had to send about 40 official IELTS materials, okay, so that that can actually enable us to practice effectively. Okay, that was what I did. And then I'm sure that you should have access to them by now. You should have access to them by now. And I really want to know how far you've been practicing. Okay, yes, how well have you been practicing? And then if there are personal challenges, because I know I've covered listening extensively, I've covered reading extensively, I've also covered writing extensively, touching both academic and general. So I want to have your questions. If you have anything that is bothering you surrounding IELTS, I want to have your question. I'll be willing to answer, take my time to answer them very, very well. Okay. So, and then if practicing as well too, which I believe you should be practicing. Okay. So if you have any question, if you have any question from your practice test, I want to entertain your question. All right. I want to entertain your question. You can ask me those questions. All right. So I can explain them to you. I have time to be able to explain them to you. All right, I have the first question from, I don't know if it's a question from Faith. Okay, Faith said, good evening, sir. My question is, okay, so that's a question. So let me go through that. Let me go through that. So good evening, sir. My question is that I hardly meet up with the time while practicing. Okay, so if I'm to understand you very well, Faith, which particular module are you referring to that you hardly meet up with? Which particular module? I want to really understand you very well. So he said, my question is that I hardly meet up with time while practicing. Are you talking about writing? Are you talking about reading? Are you talking about I know it's between reading and writing, okay? Because listening is well gauged, okay? Yeah, listening is well planned. So please make it specific so that I'll be able to understand and then I'll be able to address it. Okay, the reading. Okay, the reading. All right. So, another question I would like to ask you, is it academic or general? General. Okay. So for general, general is simpler. It's simpler, number one. What I mean by it's simpler is that the topic of the passages are usually not extremely complex as academic passages. You understand? Because they're usually centered on, if not education, it could be health, it could be traveling, it could be employment, it could be general societal issues, basically. Okay, that's what is being discussed. And secondly, the passages are usually not long now. They're not long. For example, reading passage one, the passages are usually not long. You understand? And like I explained earlier, try to use skimming and scanning. Read the question first, very important. Then locate the answers from the passage. Read the questions first, locate the answers from the passage. Famous question that I'm sure you will see, fill in the gap question, multiple choice question, true, false, not given question, matching heading question. These four I've mentioned. They are very, very compulsory. You're going to see them. You're going to see them. Okay? You're going to see them. All right. Thank you, Rita Raymond, for your question. But let me be sure that Faith is clear and she's satisfied with my okay, you said you continue practicing. Yes, please. Please, you have to continue practicing. And please try to also review. I want to also mention that for everybody listening, please, whenever you practice, especially reading, try to review. By review, I mean um try to compare the examiner's correct answer with the answer you supplied. Okay, you just compare it, check the examiner's answer. For example, for those materials, if you come down, you'll find the answers. Okay, once you come down, you'll find the answer. So compare the words, the examiner's correct answer, compare that with yours. Try to know where you made a mistake. It is very, very important because you can't just be practicing without trying to cross check. You can only cross check, remember, once you're done. Once you're done, okay, you can only cross check once you're done with the passage. That's only when you can cross check, once you're done with the passage. All right. So ensure to review, ensure to cross check. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. Yes, thank you so Faith. Thank you so much too. Please keep the questions coming. I'll be taking them one after another. If there's anything at all bothering you regarding IELTS, if there's any question you feel that you've been wanting to ask anyone, bring it up. Ask me those questions. I'm going to answer you. Okay? Ask me those questions. I'm going to answer you. But remember, I've not taught you speaking, so don't ask me speaking yet. Okay, it doesn't mean that I can't give you the answer, but since I've not taught you, it will make sense if you're asking me speaking, because I've not taught you that. Okay, so I want it to be that something that I've already taught you. All right, that those are the things, or those are the kind of questions you're asking. Okay, so um, then let me look at since Faith is satisfied with my response, let me look at Rita Raymond. Said for the essay writing, you mentioned we will be giving a full scap sheet. Okay, I want to confirm. I thought you mentioned it is computer based. Okay, question is this: what strategy should one adopt with using a keyboard? As I noticed, I made mistake when I timed my speed. Okay, so there are so many questions here. Let me attend to the first one. Yeah, sure, you'll be given a full scap sheet. You'll definitely be given a full scap sheet in case you want to make some jottings. For example, you know, um, is the full scap sheet is basically for tax two. It's basically for tax two because in tax one, if you're doing general training, which is letter writing, already you would have been given points. You understand? You will have been given points. So you don't need to start generating the points yourself anymore. You will have been given points. If you're doing general training under letter writing, tax one letter writing, you would have been given points. You understand? So you don't really need to start generating points for yourself. Academic student tax one, you don't need any points at all. Um, you just have to put it in writing. The diagram you're seeing, that diagram, just put it in writing. What you can observe from the diagram, put it in writing. That's exactly what you are expected to do. Okay. And I gave you the strategies for the academic writing tax one. Where the full scap sheet is necessary is actually in tax two. I hope Rita is paying attention. Where the full scap sheet is necessary is actually in tax two. You understand? You know, on exam day on the screen, you only have tax one question and tax two question, and 60 minutes is reading. So you don't really have anywhere to jot down. You can't jot down on the monitor, you can't jot down anywhere. So you'll be given a foolscap sheet, you understand? And then a pen too. Okay. But it's advisable you can also go with your pen, like your personal pen, you can go with it. Now, your points, for tax two is always essay writing. And for essay writing, you need to have points. You need to have your own points. So look at it this way. In the essay writing, you'll be given 40 minutes. Okay. So in these 40 minutes, remember that I advised in class that you can use 5 to 7 minutes to generate your points, generate your idea. but make sure you read and understand the question first before you start generating your points. Okay, so now if you're planning to write 4 paragraphs, that means you're expected to have 4 points. If you're planning to write 5 paragraphs, it means that you should have 5 points. Okay, now once you have those 4 or 5 points, now look at those points very well. Ask yourself, which one should come first in my first body paragraph? Which one should I use in my first body paragraph? That's the question. Like I said, start with the most important points. Start with your strongest points. Do you understand? Start with your strongest. Why am I saying that? Because examiner might not be too patient to read till the end. But the moment the examiner, what will sustain the interest of the examiner basically is ability for you to start with your strongest points. Start with your strongest points. So first body paragraph, second body paragraph, third body paragraph, you should be able to arrange your strongest point like that. For example, strongest points, body paragraph 2, stronger points, body paragraph 3, strong points, like that. So that will be strong, stronger, strongest. So start with your strongest point in body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, stronger point 2 again, body paragraph 3, a strong point. All right. So ideally, you have body paragraph 1 strongest, body paragraph 2 stronger, and body paragraph 3 strong. Then body paragraph 4 can also fit in with another less stronger. You understand? Less stronger and concluding paragraph. That's all. Then another question again is, I wanted to confirm, I thought you mentioned that it is computer based. Yes, it is computer based. So the foolscap sheet is basically for you to just jot your points. You understand? So that it will be easier for you. So that it will be very, very easy for you. Think about it this way. If you're to have those points abstractly in your mind, it will be difficult. You will likely forget because of the tension, because of the pressure on exam day. You will likely forget. So it's better you write it down because when you write it down, it's easier for you to organize it. Which one should come first? You understand? Do you know that even when you jot it down, by the side, you can even write one. One means that I'm using this one in my first body paragraph. Then you pick another one, two. Two means what? I'm using this particular point in my second body paragraph. Beside it again, you write three. Three means what? I'm using this particular point in my third body paragraph. So it makes your work very, very well organized, such that when you pick the first point, you already know what you're going to say. What do? You start typing immediately. You start typing. And remember, you don't have to be extremely fast. Mark the word extremely, but you have to be fast. It doesn't have to be extremely, but you have to be fast too, so that you can meet up to the length of words and be able to proofread as well too. Let me see if there's another question here. My question is this: what strategy should one adopt with using a keyboard? As I noticed, I made mistake when I typed my speed. I timed my speed. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to be extremely fast. Okay, precision and accuracy is better than being extremely fast. That's one important strategy. Precision and accuracy in your typing is much more important. Is much more important than being extremely fast. What is the point of being extremely fast when you're typing rubbish? So it is better to prioritize precision, accuracy. Okay, it's better to prioritize them than being extremely fast. Like I said, you need to be fast, but not extremely fast. You understand? And then prioritizing and speed and accuracy. Prioritizing precision, meaning ability to pick the right letters when you're typing without making much mistakes. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. Okay, you will, but the mistakes will be lesser. So precision and accuracy, very, very important. Okay, so I think I'm done with Rita. So Rita, let me have your reply. I hope you're satisfied. If there's any part I did not answer, let me know so that I can actually, because I told you today I need to clear off the table and everybody should be up and doing. So Rita, I'll be expecting your response. Let me know if you're clear. Let me know if you're clear. Okay. Yeah, Chidozie, your question is good evening, Mr. Obinna. Okay. I am. Chidozie, please be mindful. Don't use am. Okay. There's no subject there. I should be the subject. I am a bit confused in that video. Is it to be written on paper? Because I have searched and searched, couldn't find the one used for the practice. All our videos. What are you talking about exactly? Are you talking about listening or reading or writing? I need to really, please, if you're asking a question, try as much as possible to be specific. Okay, try as much as possible to be specific so that I'll be able to understand your question very, very well, so that when I'm explaining, I'll be able to hit the nail on the head. All right. Chukwudi, Chukwudi said, please, when I'm practicing listening, I couldn't capture the right answer, even after pausing and playing for several times. What is the best strategy to get the right answer when listening to conversation? All right, the best strategy is you're not paying attention. You're simply not paying attention. Yes. And this is as a result of absent-mindedness. Your mind is not settled. If you're paying attention, trust me, you'll get the answer immediately. You'll be aware the moment the examiner mentions the answer. You'll be aware the moment the speaker mentions the answer. It simply means you're not concentrating, you're not paying attention, you're not paying rapt attention. That is what it simply means. So the strategy here is avoid absent-mindedness, pay more attention. I think when I was teaching listening, I mentioned it that listening requires 100% attention. If it's possible, more than 100% attention. Listening, very, very powerful. If you don't concentrate, do you know that if you turn your head away from the monitor just within a split second, read once you understand what I'm talking about. If you turn your head away from the monitor while you're practicing, just for a split second, I'm telling you, you can never meet up with the speaker anymore. You can't meet up with the speaker again. For someone that has been practicing very, very well, the person will understand what I'm talking about. If you turn your head away just for a few seconds, you can never meet up with the examiner anymore. You can see how attention driven listening is. You can see how attention driven it is. Once you turn your eyes away, you can't meet up. You can't meet up. That's why it's necessary for you to be able to pay attention very well. Pay rapt attention. Pay rapt attention. And then there's another question again. Also, I am not too detailed in essay writing. What is the secret to be detailed in my story to be able to meet up with the 250 words that is expected? How do you mean by you're not detailed? The first thing to do is you need to have a valid point. Have a valid point. For example, if you're writing your first body paragraph, have a valid point. If you have a valid point, what do you want to explain about that point? What exactly do you want to explain? I hope you're listening to me, Chukwudi. The first thing to do is when you read the topic, when you read the topic and then you read the question, understand the topic very well. Once you understand the topic very, very well, the next thing you need to do is outline your points. Because if you don't outline your point, you'll just be struggling. You'll be beating around the bush. You'll just be struggling. You won't have much to say. You won't have much. I'm telling you from experience. So you need to follow procedure. If you don't follow this procedure, you'll keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. Like I said, the first strategy is what? Reach the topic and also reach the question. Make sure you understand both the topic and the question. Now, when you understand both of them, the next thing for you to do is what? That footcap sheet that you're given on exam day during your writing, outline your point there. Outline your point, write them down. And when you're outlining points, you don't need to make it too long. A phrase is fine. You don't need to make it too long. A phrase is fine. You already know what you're going to explain about that point, so just make it short. That should take you about 5 to 7 minutes. You're done. with outlining your points. For the whole points that you've outlined, for all the points you've outlined, ask yourself, which one should be my strongest point? Once you've been able to identify your strongest point, pick that strongest point, use it as your first body paragraph. Pick another stronger point, use it in your second body paragraph. Pick another strong point, use it in your third body paragraph. It's as simple as that. And now you should be able to really, really express yourself. You should be able to express yourself. How do you express yourself? Express your idea. You can give example. You can profile experience. Yes. You can give who is this person? Please don't talk, please. So you can, because in a body paragraph, you can have illustration, you can have ideas, you can have experience, like stating your own experience or personal experience. You know, you should be able to really express yourself very well. The moment you have the point, because one thing I notice about you is that I'm sure you're not outlining your points. Because if you don't outline your point, you will struggle with expressing yourself. You will definitely struggle. Yes, you will. You're not outlining your point. Then, secondly, you need to read and understand the question very well. Read and understand the topic and the question. Both of them, you need to understand them very, very well. If you do, it becomes easy for you. All you simply have to do is pick the first point, explain it in the first body paragraph very, very well. Pick the second point, explain it in the second body paragraph. Pick your third strong point, explain it in the third body paragraph, and so on like that. All right. And yes, thank you, Rita. Thank you. Thank you. Follower has a question. So, Chukwudi, I hope I've been able to do justice to your question. So, Follower said, "Good evening. During my listening practice, I noticed that the wording in the question is often different from what is said in the recording. Obviously, I mentioned it. Yes, I don't really expect this to be a question now because that's why it's an examination. You don't expect the examiner to still repeat in conversation what you're seeing that is written down. You don't expect. They will use synonyms. I mentioned it in class. They will use paraphrases. Yes, you don't expect them. They are using this trick to test. They are using this trick to know if you're truly listening. This is a trick to test, to evaluate, to check if you're truly listening. That's why what they're saying is quite different from the way the question is structured. For example, they're just purely using synonyms. Let me give an example. If you have a question as what is your name, you don't expect the speaker when they are exchanging conversation for one of them to say what is your name. No. What you would rather hear is may I know your identity? Do you know that may I know your identity as a question means the same thing as what is your name? So in this case, if you're not paying attention, how will you know? You will know. Yes, you will know. Because you are rather waiting for them to mention what is your name, just the same way you're seeing it in the question. They will never do that. They will never do that. That's the trick. All right. Let me see if there's another question again. Um, the speakers tend to paraphrase the information rather than use the exact word from the question. For people, I don't expect this one to be a question from you. I don't expect this one to be a question from you. Hmm? Why would why would the speakers not use paraphrases? If they are saying it directly according to what you're seeing there, it's no longer exam. Exam should have something. That's why we call it examination to examine you, to test you, to assess you. That's why it's called examination. So while trying to assess you or test you, there will definitely be tricks involved so that you'll be able to engage your brain. Yes. So you'll be able to engage your brain. If examination doesn't engage your brain, it's no longer exam then. So I hope I've been able to provide um, a valid answer up to your satisfaction. I guess that's why you couldn't capture the right answer. You mean that's why you couldn't capture the right answer? Okay, yeah, that's basically it. Okay, yes, for listening, concentration is key. Yeah, reading one would definitely understand very, very well. Yes, someone that has been practicing for the result he has been sending to me. Yes, concentration is key. Even when you move your eyes, if you move it away from the monitor, just within few seconds, trust me, you will never meet the examiner again. I'm telling you. In any section, be it section 1, section 2, section 3, or section 4, you will never meet the examiner again. And it is hurtful when you miss a simple question. Yes, it is very, very painful. Because if you had paid attention, you would have gotten that particular question. Just try not to turn your head or think of something else. Focus on the screen and the audio. Exactly. Just focus on it. Exactly. You will get it. Just like for people who I was asking that they tend to paraphrase. Yes. Yes. That's the trick. Even in reading too, examiners will definitely paraphrase or use synonyms. Examiners will definitely paraphrase or use synonyms. Yes. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Chukwudi, too. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Read One. I appreciate your contribution. Yes, I appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much. So let's move on. Uh, okay, she's saying it's not a question. I'm trying to tell Chukwudi why he's not getting the right answers. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm expecting more. I'm expecting more questions. I'm expecting more questions. I'm expecting more questions. Yeah. Makwa, Tycoon. All right. So good evening. I've been in a situation where we are running out of time. What strategy do you employ? We use. Be specific in your question. Running out of time, doing what? Running out of time on what module? Your question is not specific. And don't give vague questions. Don't give ambiguous question. A question that is not direct. Okay, it has double meaning. Which particular module are you referring to? I've taught three modules: listening, reading, and writing. Which aspects are you talking about? So we need to know. So keep the questions coming. Writing module. The strategy for writing, like I've explained earlier, start with task 2 to save you enough time. Start with task 2. And it's always very important to devote all your energy in task 2 because number one, task 2 carries more mark. Task 2 carries more mark. So it's better to devote more time to that. Okay. And then I'm sure you won't be able to exhaust the 40 minutes. Always have it in mind that I'm not exhausting this 40 minutes. So you probably use between 30 to 35 minutes. So you'll be able to reserve some minutes for proofreading. Proofreading is very, very important. Proofreading is very, very important. And even when you're proofreading, do not proofread as the writer. Proofread as the examiner. Proofread as if you're the examiner. You're the one marking that script. Don't proofread as if you're the one who wrote the scripts. Because if you proofread as the examiner, what that simply means is that you're paying attention to every word. You're paying attention to every word, which is the same way the examiner would also pay attention to every word. So, so still on the writing, keep the questions coming, please. So, still on the writing for Makwa's question. Um, the first thing you need to do, number one, start with task 2. Okay. Number two, manage your time in task two. Don't spend the whole 40 minutes in task two. You could use 30 minutes so that you can devote the remaining 10 minutes to task one. Or at most, use 35 minutes in task two so that you can devote 5 minutes to task one. So that tax one becomes 25 minutes. And even while tax one becomes 25 minutes, I'm sure you cannot exhaust all the whole 25 minutes. You might probably use like 15 minutes for tax one or 18 minutes for tax one. Then the remaining minutes left, use it to proofread. Before you submit, ensure you proofread, ensure you go through it. Very, very important. If you don't, it's going to affect you. Open it. If you don't, it's going to affect you. Seriously, it's going to affect you. Seriously. So you need to proofread. Very, very important. Very, very crucial. If you don't proofread, it's going to affect you. Because you realize that you're making mistake in spelling, you're making mistake in punctuation mark, you're making mistake in tenses, making mistake in, almost every aspect. Yes. You realize that you're making mistake in almost every aspect because you do not proofread. Because you do not proofread. I hope this is clear to you. So those are the strategies that I expected to apply when you're doing the IELTS writing. All right. Faith, yes, Faith has a question, and Faith says, in listening, I noticed that two similar words are being mentioned as the answer. How do I detect the exact answer to insert? Faith, this is not clear. How do you mean by two similar words are being mentioned as the answer? An answer is supposed to be exactly an answer. It's supposed to be a word. Okay? In a case where you're asked to write no more than two words, we're expecting two words or one word as an answer. In a case where you're supposed to write no more than three words, I'm expecting either exactly three words or two words or one word. So this is not clear. The question is not clear. And Chukwudi has a question. Says, sir, can someone be able to sit for the IELTS examination after 1 week of learning? Yes, it's possible. It's possible. But then, like I said, there is a software that we have. Okay, there's a software that we have that you can actually use for your intensive practice. Okay, so this software would guide you very well on how to practice. Yeah, for example, once you're done with any particular module, it grades you automatically. It grades you automatically. And because it's a free class, I can't share that here. If you enroll for a tutelage or a private one-on-one class, then it can be shared. Okay, then it can be shared. All right. So, but it's possible. It's possible if you're practicing every day, devoting 4 hours every day. Definitely, why not? You'll be able to sit the IELTS exam after 1 week of learning or after 1 week of practice. Okay. Yeah, Takun said understood. Okay, that's good. And then Faith said, okay, sir, that's fine. Okay. So if you want to enroll for the private class, you can reach out to um, Ace Education and Travel Consult. Let me type it here. Let me type it here. So ACE is Edu and Travel Consults. Okay. Ace Edu and Travel Consults. I've sent it. So you can reach out to Ace Edu and Travel Consults if you want to enroll for a private one-on-one class. Yes, 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 via email. Via email. Please, All right. So, advisory manager, please, you can maybe drop your email in the chat box. I think Tycoon wants to reach out to you for the private one-on-one class, okay, where you have more attention given to you. And what I mean by that is you have opportunity to ask questions, you'll be well guided, and then you have access to the software where you'll be able to practice extensively. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is own email. So please you can reach out to him. He's interested in the private one-on-one class. So I'll be able to have a private contact with him. You understand? I'll be able to take my time to explain and teach him very well. Okay. All right. So any other question? Yeah, thank you, advisory manager. I've seen your message. Any other question? Any other question? Keep it coming, keep it coming. Like I said, if you have any challenge at all, so does it mean that these other people do not have any challenge at all? Um, Emmanuel, no challenge at all. Um, Faladay's note taker. Poinshola, any question? Albright, any question? Rose, Ike Favor. Yes, Innocent. I'm surprised. What happened? I've not seen your question. Innocent. Innocent, you're always very active. What happened? I've seen Man Pikin's own. I've seen Chidoze's own. Yeah, really one is my guy. So really one is always very active. And then he's always very, very serious too. So who else again? Who else again? Who else again? Okay, I think there's a question. Let me look at it. There's a question. Yeah, thank you, Tycoon too. Thank you. Please, sir, what if you're not a good listener, even after paying full attention to a conversation, and you still lack answer? Okay, so Chukwudi, that's a very good question. Let me tell you, no one is a perfect listener. No one is a perfect listener, and it's not as if somebody is um, and it's not as if maybe somebody is born a listener from heaven. No, see, all of these things you need to train yourself. You see writing, you have to train yourself. You see reading, you have to train yourself. You see speaking, ability to speak well, you need to train yourself. That why do you think some people host public speaking as a course? Do you understand? Listening to is something you have to train yourself. Do you know that we listen for different purposes? We listen to reply, we listen to answer question, we listen to argue, we listen to understand. There are different purposes why we listen. In the case of IELTS listen, we only listen to answer questions. We don't listen to reply. Yes, 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 yes. Rita, yes. You all are my guys. Oh, yes, you all are my guys. And you're very, that's why if you notice, I'm always mentioning names. I always call your name, Rita. I always call everybody's name. You understand? You all are my guys. You all are my guys. Don't mind Pokpefulua, don't mind her. Don't mind her. What are you seconding? Don't second anything. Hmm? Rita, don't worry. We're all together. So, Chukwudi, I hope I've been able to answer your question. So, don't see it as if maybe um, there are some certain kind of people that have this ability to listen. No, you equally have the ability to listen. You just need to train your mind. Trust me. You just need to train your mind. You have that ability too. You know what? You need somebody to guide you on how to listen effectively. You need like a proper guidance. That's what you need. So I hope I've been able to answer your question, Chukwudi. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chukwudi. Yes, thank you. So don't worry. It's something that you need to just, once you put your mind to it and you train yourself, you'll get it. You get it. If other people like Ridwan, Fokpefolua, Rita, um, Innocent, and the rest of them, if they can get it, why not? You can also get it too. It's not far-fetched. You can get it. All right. I'm waiting for more questions. I'm waiting for more questions. I'm waiting for more questions. Rose, have you asked me a question? DMA Rose. I hope I got the DMA correctly. DMA Rose.
Yes,
I hope.
if I ask any question, please, I don't have questions for today.
Okay, do you have
I
question
just
for
got my
today?
materials. Yes, I'll need time to
Okay,
go through them first.
to go through it. Okay, so while I'm still teaching, if you have any
Don't
question, please
be.
ask. Please ask. While I'm still teaching other modules, if you have any question, I would like to hear from you. So who else again has not
Don't
asked a
speak.
question?
Don't
Who else
speak.
again has not asked a question? Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. For Inshallah, I've not heard from you. Is she with us here? For Inshallah, are you with us? I haven't heard from you. Innocent, Kezie, I haven't heard from you too. Ike Favor, Albright, I haven't heard from these people. I think Emmanuel, have I heard from you? Emmanuel, who else again? Let me check. 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 Yes, so Ridwan is giving you suggestions, like I explained in class. So he's saying that you should um you should pay attention to BBC. Yes, you know I mentioned it when I was teaching. If you want to be very good with all of this ability to listen effectively, okay, you need to develop yourself. Let me give you a personal experience. I love football a lot. I love football a lot. You understand? And I listen to football commentaries. I listen to football commentaries a lot, and I know almost all their names. You understand? And then I also listen to English podcasts. Like most of these podcasts, I listen to them very well. Why am I doing this? Because it's helping me to be able to understand native speakers' conversation. It's helping me. You understand? It's helping me. So, Chukwudi, please, I want you to also, I don't know, do you like football too? If you don't like football, do you like if you can watch native speakers movies, British movies, I mean, you can watch them. And the essence why you're watching them is okay, you like football, so that's very good. Please listen to the likes of Peter Jury. Peter Jury, I love Peter Jury so much. You understand? He's a very good commentator. Okay, Don Champion, also very good. Andy Townsend, you know, Martin Tyler, yes, Martin Tyler too. So please listen to those people when you're don't just be watching and be enjoying the match, be listening to them as well too. It will help you. Let's start from there first. Then CNN and BBC. Okay, CNN is for America, BBC is for British, you understand? So pay attention to them too. Like even most of these audiobooks, you can download audiobooks and be listening to them too. Like I mean English audiobooks, download them and be listening to them. Do you understand? You will see there's going to be a change. Trust me, there will definitely be a change. Okay, Chidoze has a question. Thank you, Ridwan, for the contribution. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Um, Chidoze said, please, with that material sent to us, how do I practice with it? Okay, because what I'm seeing, there is still teaching, or do I have to write on paper? Okay, so now for the PDF materials, please, I want everybody to pay attention. I want everybody to listen very, very well. For the PDF materials, this is what you do. For the PDF materials, it comes in test one, test two, test three, test four. Do you understand? Let me explain better. So, for example, it comes in four tests: test one, test two, test three, and test four. So, test one has listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Test 1 has the whole 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Test 2 has listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Test 3 has listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Test 4 has listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So, for example, if you want to practice the reading test, okay, just come to test 1, okay, and then scroll up, you will see listening. After listening, the next thing you will see is reading. Exhaust the whole reading, practice with that reading. If you're done and you still want to practice again, okay, go to test 2. When you get to test 2, all right, if you scroll up, you will see listening. After listening, the next thing you will see is reading. Then focus on that reading, practice with it. If you're not satisfied, then pick test 3. Pick test 3. If you want to still practice more, pick test 3. Now, when you pick test 3, what do? When you get to test 3, just scroll up, you will see listening. After listening, the next thing is reading. All right, practice on that reading. So I hope this is very, very clear how to use the material. And if you want to do writing, the same thing too. Come to test 1. Okay, scroll up, you will see listening. After listening, you will see reading. After reading, you will see writing. So practice that writing. If you still want to practice further, come to test 2. Okay, when you get to test 2, just scroll up, you will see listening. After listening, you see reading. After reading, you see writing. So practice that writing and so on like that. I hope this is clear. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Chidozie. Yes. And if you have a laptop, when you're practicing the writing, please type. Please type. Okay, please type. And then if you're doing the reading, you can just number 1 to 40 in your notebook. Just number 1 to 40 in your notebook. That's all. Just number 1 to 40 in your notebook. That's all. All right. Yes, Innocent. I'm just seeing Innocent's message down. Probably he doesn't have a question. Sir, you said that paraphrase is to replace the word in the passages with your own word. Should it be um should it be like word meaning or word that suits your flow of the passage? Okay, so paraphrasing simply means, like, paraphrasing is very useful when you're dealing with writing most especially. You understand? Writing. And for you to paraphrase means that you just have to bring in your own word that will replace the given word. Let's say, for example, if you have for example, the chat, the chat shows, okay. If I want to paraphrase um this particular word I just said, this particular expression I just said, the chat shows, okay. I'll replace the chat with the specific name of that chat. If it is by chat, I'll just write pie chart, the pie chart. Then I'll replace shows. I'll replace it with illustrates. If I don't replace it with illustrates, I can replace it with indicates. Do you understand? So that's paraphrasing. That's synonym switch. You understand? Then Albright has, I think, let me read if it's a question. Good evening. In the speaking parts, if we make use of tautology, is that bad? For example, the reason is because. Okay, so I haven't gotten to speaking or writing, and I was actually talking about we asking questions based on the one I've taught so far. For example, I've taught listening, I've taught reading, I've taught writing. So, but let me quickly just answer your question. So, tautology is not allowed. Yes, it's not required. You understand? You're not expected to use tautology in speaking. Repetition, tautology, they are not allowed. I hope I've been able to answer your question. And when you have the reason is because that's actually not tautology per se. So tautology is when you have extreme end. For example, if you have extreme end, that's tautology. If you have reverse back, that's tautology. If you have so therefore, that's tautology. You understand? Those are like tautology. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Okay, so Madam Rose now has something to say. Madam Rose says, please, I want to know if all the tests are done in the same day. Yes, they are. Yes, they are all done in the same day. For example, you will start with your listening test for 30 minutes. Listening test will span for 30 minutes. If you're done with your listening test, you proceed to the reading test. The reading test is for 1 hour. Okay. While you're still seated, if you're done with your listening test, you proceed to the writing test. If you're done with your reading test, you proceed with the writing test. Okay. So the writing test is also for 1 hour. The writing test is also for 1 hour. Then once you're done with your writing, then the examiner will give you about 45 minutes break just for you to stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and then you'll come back for the speaking. The speaking is just 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. You're done with speaking. Speaking doesn't take long. All right. So the way it's usually organized is that exams start at 9, but you have to be at the center by 8:30. All right. Mostly speaking will come in around 1:20 p.m. All right. By 1:40 p.m. you're done. So you should be heading home. So once you get home, you just take your bath and then rest. And some people might want to opt in for the afternoon session too. You understand? The afternoon session starts from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and you're going to be doing everything on the same day. It was actually before when paper-based was still available. Then when paper-based was still available, that's when you can do your speaking 2 days after you're done with listening, reading, and writing, or 2 days before you do your listening, reading, and writing. But now you can do everything on the same day. All right, Chidezi said, okay, thanks. Yeah. Today I practiced with IELTS sites. Notice in writing they give out points to discuss with. Is it usually that way? Yes, for general training, you'll be giving points, basically. You'll be giving points. General training, especially when you're writing letters, you'll be giving points. For your letter writing, you'll be giving points. But for academic tax one, you won't be giving any points at all. Because academic tax one, you're just meant to report the diagram. That's what you're meant to do. But for general training writing tax one, which is letter writing, you'll be giving points, at least 3 points. So if you feel the 3 points are not enough, you can add your own points to make it 4. So the question is it usually that way? Yes, it is. It's usually that way. Okay, so Chukwu is asking that, sir, do you see your score immediately after the exam? No, you don't see it immediately after the exam. So it takes between 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days. Minimum 3 days, maximum 5 days after you're done with your exam. And a notification will be sent to you in your email to inform you that your result is out or your result is available. So you can check. Yeah, Madam Rose, thank you too. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Yeah, thank you so much too, Chidozie. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, Innocent, thank you so much too. Thank you so much. All right, since there's no question anymore, I don't think there's any further question. So we can call it a night. Yes, Makwa, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So please reach out to the admin, you understand, for the private one-on-one class. All right. Yes, for Pefoluwa, thank you so much too. I really appreciate your efforts. Chukudi, thank you so much. I appreciate your effort. I hope I've been able to help you with what you're supposed to do. Okay. Yes. Okay, so you said you already did via email. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, thank you. So yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Makul, I sent you a message already. I'm in your DM, so you can just respond to that too, in case the mail can take time. So I'm already in your DM. I sent you a message already on WhatsApp. Respond to it immediately. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Okay. So I don't know if there's any further question, you can quickly send it. But if there's none, I will start with the speaking test tomorrow. I'll start with the speaking test tomorrow. I'll start with the speaking test tomorrow. I'll start with the speaking test tomorrow. Then hopefully end it on Monday. Then Wednesday will be our final day, which is where I will also conduct the same session like this, whereby you will still have opportunity to ask any particular question at all that you have. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Which is the best to write, academic or general? So this is a question from Chidozie. Okay, so Chidozie, it depends on your plan. It depends on your intention. At the very beginning, I made it clear that there's a difference between academic and general. For instance, academic is if you're going for studies. If your intention is to go study abroad, if your intention is to go study in UK, US, Canada, then you choose academic. But then if you're in any particular um, hiring field, like healthcare, like you're a doctor, you're a nurse, all of these hiring fields, you can apply for PR. You can also apply for job sponsorship. Okay, yeah, go to job banks. You can just apply in Canada. You can apply for different job sponsorship, you understand? So in that case, you have to do general. So if you're going for job or Canada PR, it is general. Then if you're going for studies, basically studies, academic, then it is IELTS academic. If you're going for studies, it is IELTS academic. If you're going for job, permanent relocation, then it is general. So I hope that is clear. I hope it is clear. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Do have a good night rest. All right. So we meet tomorrow by God's grace. All right. Bye bye.